Hey everybody, what's happening? What's going on? What are you doing? What hand are you doing it with? And what are you going to do with it when you're done doing it? Well, we're doing it right now here on Drum Talk TV with Todd Sucherman of Styx, and we're going to talk about his new solo album. Todd, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dan. How you doing?
Doing awesome. Thank you so much. Where are you coming to us from, Todd?
I'm coming from my studio here just on the west side of Austin, Texas, in a little town called Bee Cave.
Awesome. And I'm in Globe, Arizona, 100 miles east of Phoenix in the mountains. Folks, tell us where you're from. I'm going to pull you all up on our monitor here. We'll even take some questions. Todd, first of all, how long? I love what I've heard from the album so far. I can't wait to get the whole thing and hear the rest. I love your photography on the cover. It's brilliant. Folks, if you're not familiar with it, the cover is right there on our player, and it's called Last Flight Home. How long did it take for you? Well, can you start with the planning stages of this? How long did you have this appear? How long of a process did you start writing it and thinking about who you're going to have work on it? You got some great musicians on it. What's the deal?
I'll tell you the whole story, man, because no one is more surprised about this endeavor than I am. Basically, I had an old friend, J.K. Harrison, that's been cajoling me and haranguing me and harassing me for a number of years to do a record. You know, hey, when are you going to do your record with me? And I would always blow him off with the notion of, gee, that's really cute that you think that I could do that. I can't, but, thanks, but no thanks.
Well, wait, I
And
got to ask, Todd, what was it? And I don't mean what did he see in you. You must have demonstrated something other than being a great drummer with Styx. What did he see as a fellow great musician that saw that in you? You know what I mean?
well, it was a close enough friend that he's actually heard me sing
Okay.
before.
I was going to ask if you
And
guys did karaoke together. Or...
yeah, there's one thing I've never done actually.
Really?
Yeah, I've never done that. Well, he just believed in me when I didn't. It's kind of plain and simple and very sweet in that regard. And I always blew him off. And I always assumed I'd do some sort of jazz fusion drum centric thing.
Right.
Uh, but the truth of the matter is, I just played on the Antoine Fafard record, which was the most challenging music I'd ever been presented with. And I also did 9 songs on San Nico, an Australian guitarist record, which is incredibly difficult music. So that it should sort of been scratched for the time being. And with JK, it's always about like songs, melodies, and lyrics. And really, that's what I love most about music. So he just hit me at a certain time, and I was going to be in Los Angeles for, I had some afternoons off and a couple nights off, and I thought, well, let's get together and see what happens. And by the second night, we had written Last Flight Home, that song, in about a half hour. It was just one of those magical nights where it was like lightning back and forth. I'm writing down lyrical ideas about what it's like to be, stranded in airports going home for the last quarter century. And
Right.
because everyone likes to hear rock musicians complain, um, especially now. So it's just one of those things where I just had to get out of my own way here. I looked at this yellow brick road, for lack of a better description, kind of materializing in front of me, and I thought, let me just get out of my own way and see where this goes. This concept actually scares the hell out of me, but I'm also excited about it at the same time. And I thought, maybe that's where I need to be. Instead of doing another record, it's like, drum fills,
Yeah.
I didn't think the world necessarily needed that at this point. And I thought that actually writing songs with melodies and lyrics was a much more difficult and much more dangerous pathway to go down. But working with a guy like J.K., who has a treasure trove of demos and bits and pieces and shiny new things. Hey, you like this section, and putting it together, it was really a beautiful learning experience, and it was so much fun, scary as it still continues to be, to step outside of my comfort zone in a colossal way. It was really exciting to do at the same time.
Everything you just said could have been the answer to. So tell us about your having your firstborn, because it's a lot the same, and the question always comes with that: do you think you'll have another one? Or is it too soon to even ponder that?
It's too soon to even ponder that. If you would have asked me this time last year if this would have existed, I would have said, what? What are you talking about? So I sort of managed my whole career and life not reaching for things too hard, sort of letting things materialize or happen or float towards me,
Right.
Without kind of sounding trippy. Like, the less I care about stuff, the more good things float my way. If I set these goals or like, I really got to do this, and wouldn't it be cool to do this? And the more I go after things, the more they just seem to be going a little out of reach. So I just kind of don't give a damn and let things float my way and see what happens. So maybe the next record will be a bunch of drum fills around a bunch of jazz fusion kicks. Who knows?
That's great. Was writing lyrics at all in your purview before? Like, did you ever doodle out poems or verses or think of the phrases in your mind? Or was that like part of the scary part that was completely new? Okay, I'm going to write some lyrics.
It's definitely part of the scary part. I've never written like complete things, but I've written ideas and lines and concepts. I work in a collaborative way with, I try to surround myself with people who are more talented than I am in that regard.
Right.
And then, it can be a cool experience, but it's like I don't have like an acoustic guitar in a hotel room writing full songs. That's not my thing, but I know enough about music where I can get together with people and speak in a musical fashion and help direct things in a place where I'm hearing the music, wanting to go, or my little vision of it.
That's great. I'd like to play some. We won't play the whole thing. I want people to get to you to get the whole thing. But let's play a sample of Last Flight Home. Is that okay?
Sure. What do you like?
You won't hear it or see it, but the audience will. So I'm going to play just like a minute of it, folks. Here we go. This is Todd. All right, folks, there's your teaser. I don't know what you expected. I didn't know what to expect, but it's beautiful. It's great. You can really sing. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and you've spent some time around some pretty good singers. I mean, that's one of the things Styx is known for.
I've been fortunate to work with a lot of great singers from the time that I was very young, and it's something that I wish that I always felt, gee, I'd love to be able to do that the way a kid would want to be an astronaut or something,
right,
or a major league ball player or something. So it's kind of this weird childhood, little fantasy kind of coming true, predicated on the fact that J.K. said, dude, you can do this. And it's funny that the first song, and that's the first song on the record, the drum kit doesn't come in until like 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the song.
Right.
So no drums, for the first bit.
For a drummer's album, it's great.
In the live loop, the bass drum on beat one was my father's 18-inch Slingerland bass drum, and the right cymbal was my father's old K. So I kind of like that was the kit that I learned how to play on. The bass drum and the cymbal, those are the first audible sounds on the record. I didn't plan it that way. That's just how it came out.
Wow, how serendipitous. That's really neat.
Yeah.
I want to ask, Todd, regarding your singing, did you take any voice lessons or learn any exercises to get your voice in shape for the studio sessions and be able to, it's one thing, as you know, it's one thing to be able to reach the notes and all that stuff, but the sustainability of doing take after take and things like that, how did you prepare for that vocal-wise?
I've always paid attention to how the guys in Styx warm up. And would sometimes, they might be 10 feet that way, all singing loudly, and I'd be over on my practice pad, just kind of doing it quietly and humbly, but still kind of getting that into my rotation. Also, my wife is a brilliant singer, so anytime I would sing, she'd be quick to just completely, take me down a peg. Decimate me with one word.
I think our wives know each other.
Yeah, all wives do.
It's a club.
And then, the funny thing is, like, you're working with JK, he whatever bit of a Chicago accent I might still have, he would point that out. Like, certain vowels, I's and E's, are very tough to sing, especially with the Chicago accent. It gets to be very kind of harsh and grating sound. So he would say something like, think about how Sting would do this, and he would make himself sound exactly like Sting. And I'd go, oh, gee, I can't do that. Would you like to play, 24/13? You can't do that either. But then he'd say, no. Try, and I'd try to imitate him, and he'd say, yes. Now that sounds like an imitation. Get back into character and mean it when you sing. Mm-hmm. So there are certain things. It was a learning experience for me of holding up notes, opening up the voice, pronouncing certain things that didn't sound, irritating, or anyone from Chicago that might be watching it knows, like, a really hard Chicago accent, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Altamont Ford on Ashland Avenue, 96 Ashland Avenue, come on down. I didn't want it to sound like that.
Yeah. That's great. What was the most gratifying, as you look back, or if it was during the process, what was the most gratifying thing during the whole process? And if it's a different answer, what has been the most gratifying thing afterwards, now that it's completed?
The most gratifying and scary thing initially was I didn't let anyone hear anything until it was nearly complete. And I did this entirely under cover of darkness. My mother didn't even know I was doing this.
Oh, wow.
Because there's part of me that thought...
Wait, she knows you're a drummer, though, right?
I'm sorry?
She knows you're a drummer, though, right?
Yes, she knows that. But playing it for some close confidants, but as we were getting, the songs were pretty much 80% there. Playing them for some friends of mine, which was an excruciating experience because every second seemed like a minute.
Yeah.
And, like doing your first nude scene and having everyone watch it, it felt that vulnerable. But the responses were so incredible and enthusiastic, and that's you? People I've known for years. Victor Salazar, you might know Victor.
Sure, yeah.
I did a master class in Chicago, and we had a bunch of drinks back at my hotel. I was telling him I started doing this, and said, do you want to come up to the room and hear a couple of things? Sure. So we went up there, and I'm sitting there, and I got done playing the first song, and I've known Victor. He'd been a friend of mine since the 80s. And he's sitting there, and he's looking at me like this. And he just goes, how did you know that you could do that? And I thought that was a really beautiful, honest question, because we've known each other for so long. And I said to him, I didn't know, and I still don't know. Like, you're the second or third person that's even heard this.
Yeah.
So that was a very cool moment that I always remember. And he was a very early supporter. You know, he wanted to know like how's it going, how's it going.
Yeah.
And he's just a dear friend. I couldn't love him more. But
That's great.
to answer your question, on the other side of this, I think the feeling of accomplishment of doing this grand experiment that I wasn't sure that I could actually pull off, and you know, I feel I pulled it off. No music is for everyone. Not everyone's going to like it. That's that's the way it is.
And that's okay.
But I feel that I can put my name on this and stand behind these 10 songs. Every line, every note, everything. You can't say it sucks. You might not like it, but it doesn't suck. And that's
right. Right. Absolutely.
Let's start with that. No sucking.
Right. Absolutely. So, was your mother surprised when she heard it?
Yeah, she was flabbergasted.
Did you tell her from the beginning it was you singing?
I let her know. I let her know it was coming. You know, it wasn't a total surprise.
Yeah.
But I think I posted something about it, and she's like, "What's this about your record?" I'm like, "Oh, yes, I should have phoned you first." Yeah, sorry, Mom. Sorry. Well,
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Can you please give a synopsis of the rest of the material on the record? Is the first single completely representative of the whole thing? Does it bounce around? What have we got?
No, the thing about the record that I'm most proud of is that there's a lot of different kinds of things, yet it's a cohesive statement. It's not a record where it sounds like, oh, he's doing this thing and this doesn't make any sense. It all ties in, but there's different things. And I kind of like hearing what other people hear in it. So the feedback that I've gotten from others, they've heard everything from the Beatles, XTC, Jellyfish, to Crowded House, to Coldplay, to Brian Wilson and Alan Parsons, to late 70s Genesis.
Oh, wow.
A moment of The Cure. So it's a really peculiar mix of things that I'm sort of reflecting back what others have told me they've heard in it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And is it out yet? I'm not even clear on that.
Yes, it came out on May 2nd. It's only available in a digital form through your normal digital outlets, but the only place to get a hard copy is at my website, toddsucherman.com. It's the only place to get a CD, signed CD, 180-gram limited edition hand-signed numbered vinyl, and high-resolution WAV files.
Please send me all that info in an email, and I'll add it to this post and for future publications of this interview as well.
Right on.
Yeah. Let's talk drumming a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take some questions. Let's see what we got here. Let me just see. I saw a question by Brad Burge. I believe it was Brad. Yes. He asked, as a drummer, actually two questions. The first one is, as a drummer, how do you approach songwriting and lyric writing? Does it intertwine? Does your drumming brain kick in when it came to, and this I'm adding this like for the phrasing and things like that?
I'm trying to see the big picture first before I do anything. And one of the learning experiences from this was I did the vocals. I did most of the vocals, 95% before I did drums. So in my mind, there was a couple spots where I thought, oh, this would be a cool spot for maybe a little bit of this, or a cool spot for a little bit of that. And when it came time to record the drums, and I did that, it seemed like it was taking the focus away from the big picture of the song. That I had to simplify a couple of those drumming moments, even though a fill may still be there. It wasn't the one that I thought, oh, I could kind of cleverly put this in there. It kind of felt like I was putting a square peg in a round hole. So
interesting.
I had to back off and go, for the greater good of the song, put your drumming ego, a couple steps back, and just play something that works, that doesn't draw attention to, okay, and in between the line, me and the back singer. Everything had to continue with one flow of a living and breathing organism.
Right. Well, that's really outstanding to hear, because it's a testament to you actually playing the role of a songwriter and a producer and a drummer third, if even there, right?
Yeah, I mean, because I had to look at the big picture. This wasn't like I got hired on a session and, I balanced what I thought might sound cool with what they want, and, you get that everybody happy, cool, great.
Right.
This is my thing, and there's no one that has a more executive decision about it than I do. So it really has to pass that test of, can I live with this for the rest of my life?
Right. No pressure.
There wasn't. It was a fun pressure because I said I'd rather play Jaga de Crash and hear that and know that's going to work every time than go, putting in a flam roll or doing something in there that's going to just pull my ear or wake me up out of the dream just a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes the drumming can be really cool and intricate and work, and sometimes it can pull you out of the dream.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Another question was, here's a good one. And thanks everybody. I'll get to as many questions as I can. Where did it go? Jeffrey Savell says, Todd, do you get into character just before you perform live with Styx? And I don't know what character means to him, but translate that with your answer to whatever that means to you.
I don't know that I get into a character, but I very much have a pretty strict warm-up routine that I do, and I have to feel physically a certain way before I can walk towards the stage. So, I basically have to be just at about breaking the sweat, just right there, and no more, and feeling good. And then when I get to the stage, it seems that I'm always there a little bit longer than I want to. I kind of would rather go house lights and start the show. But everyone's got to make sure that everyone's guitar works, everything works. The techs are giving each other like a pit crew, the thumbs up, and I'm sitting there with the sticks and still kind of doing this. Come on, a little bit like a cave panther. And then I kind of go, and then relax and go out there and have fun. So if that's the character, then that's kind of the character I'm in. A balance between being very physical and also being very relaxed at the same time.
Focused. You seem very focused. Yeah. Great. Thank you for that. Let's take... hey, everybody. How's it going? There's a lot of people tuning in from all over the world. I love seeing that. I'll read some places off in a moment. John Kinsting, who does a series for us, he's a Drum Talk TV contributor. He's doing a few series. He says, Todd, what is your comfort level when you sing and play at the same time? Whoa, where did it go? Versus, sorry, everything moved. Hold on, everybody. Just hold on. Everyone, hold on. Hold on. Everything just moved. Wow. What's going on here? You know how someone comments, so it all jumps. I'm trying to find that comment again. And I can't find the bar sliding. The bar sliding, I think everyone knows what I mean.
Well, I think,
yeah, go ahead.
I think I know where he was going with that. Like, it is really hard to sing and play at the same time because, first off, it's easier to stand up when you're singing. It's just better for the diaphragm than sitting down. And then you have your four limbs going. So it's like you're juggling a chainsaw and a bowling pin and a hot potato, and then you're figuring out where to breathe, where to sing, what's the rhythm of what you're singing with what you're playing. It's a very difficult task to do, and I really only do it on about four or five songs with the band. I'm sure they'll probably ask me to do more now.
I was going to ask you that. Actually. What have they said about this?
I've only heard from two of them. I just recently sent everyone a CD, but everyone's dealing with what's going on in the world in their own way, and I'm sure they all got piles of mail and blah blah blah. But I heard from Ricky and Lawrence about it, and I know Chuck received it. So
great, good. Awesome.
I mean, I kind of didn't even really tell those guys I was doing this. So
really? How surprised were they?
What's that?
How surprised were they?
Well, I kind of haven't seen them. All this came out since
Right.
I haven't seen them. So there's a nice little thing. We had a band and crew Zoom call, and
Good.
Charlie manager said, "Hey, congratulations to Todd," and blah blah blah. And it's a round of applause. So it was very sweet.
Great. I have a fun drumming question, but I want to look and see what some of the viewers are asking first. I don't want to hog it all up. Here we go. Come on, there we go. Brad Burge asks, what is your proudest moment as a drummer performer, other than being on Drum Talk TV with me, of course?
Well, besides being here tonight with you, Dan, proudest moment. There's one thing that just popped in my mind. There's an expletive in this. Can I say that?
Yes, you can.
I recorded a song with Brian Wilson called Saturday Morning in the City. And I came up with this really cool part that was a part 1920s vaudeville, rim clicks and splash hits. And sadly, in my opinion, the mixing of the record was very much like this, and a lot of that's inaudible. But when I got done recording that piece of music, the great Brian Wilson said, "That's the happiest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life." I thought that I made Brian say that and grab his chair like that.
That's a moment.
That made me feel really, really great. It's a moment I'll remember and cherish for the rest of my life.
Brian effing Wilson saying that. That's a moment for sure. I'm going to ask a question that I feel, are a perfect person to ask this question. In fact, I don't think I've asked this for 4 or 5 years. Billy Cobham was the last person I asked this question. And there's a topic that gets under my skin a lot. My main drum set is a big drum set. You have a big drum set. Billy has a big drum set. We can go down the line. Carl Palmer, Alan White, Neil Peart. We go on and on and on and on, right? I do not understand why some drummers, when they see a large kit, they make comments like, "What are you, an octopus?" I mean, I don't understand why they feel when they see a drum set that they think that's big, that they think that drummer thinks they have to be all over it all the time. I use the analogy of an 88-key piano. Anyone that plays piano knows you're never up and down all 88 keys. You use what you need when you use it. And to me, a large drum set has all those other tones, notes, textures, voices, and all those things. I don't understand why some people have such a problem, and even go as far to say they're compensating for something, or someone doesn't know how to play a 4-piece. That doesn't even make sense. What are your thoughts on this?
Anyone who's shaming someone else's kit probably isn't doing much with their drumming career, because real pros would not say that. Would not make fun of someone else's drum set. I can't get into the psychological headspace of why people would do that, because to me it seems ridiculous. To me, would you tell Monet that he has too many colors on his palette?
Right, or a symphony, there's too many violins and violas.
I mean, I kind of got cantankerous one day, and I posted something on Facebook. And, as I would post a picture of my kit, which is, 3 floor toms, a gong drum, 4 rack toms, 2 snare drums, the rocket toms. John Bonham didn't need all that. Well, I don't play in Led Zeppelin, and regarding the Styx kit, I play in a band that had a drummer that sold 30 million records before I did, that played a double bass kit and 6 toms and had chimes and timpani. So my gear choice is idiosyncratically correct to my gig.
Right.
But, for this is my main recording kit, but there's a 4-piece drum set in there.
Yeah,
there's plenty of songs that I played where it's one up, one down. That's all that's needed. And I don't have the rocket toms mic'd, or or the second hi-hat is not in the track.
Right.
They're there. I don't need to take them away and have a 4-piece kit to record
Right.
a piece of music.
Exactly.
It's all set up and mic'd and ready to go there. And if someone wants to shame me for that, well, more power to them, I suppose. I don't care, because it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't help me pay the bills.
Yeah.
It's just this is my choice. You're gonna make fun of my car too.
Right. I feel the same way. Yeah, because like I say, I play that kit for what I play on it. I play to a lot of old Genesis, yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Jethro Tull, Styx. A lot of music that has all those other sounds. I do play a lot of Zeppelin and Deep Purple and other. I have the 2 timpanis, and I also have a 4-piece jazz kit that I would never play Emerson, Lake and Palmer or Yes on.
Well, okay, if I may, I know I'm fortunate that I'm in a room where I have 3 kits set up. It's very, very different.
Yeah.
Depending on how I'm feeling. Right over here was my father's Slingerland kit, 18-inch bass drum, 12, 14, a jazz kit. It's like a old Gretsch jazz kit, but Slingerland. I spend as much time on that kit as I do on anything else.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
But when I'm feeling like that, I'll go over there. And I have a ridiculous monstrosity of a late 70s Premier, like Octoplus, 6 through 16 concert toms, 2 bass drums, that if I feel like doing that, I'll play over there. But then I go over there and I start playing like Tony things and Billy Cobham things on that kit, and not just choba.
Right. The setup inspires the different tools that you have in your toolbox to express.
Yeah, it's like you're having sushi one night and steak another night and scallops another night. That's the way it is. Or if you got a couple different cars, your Mercedes is going to drive differently than your Ferrari or whatever. It's just what you feel like.
Exactly.
I don't have a Ferrari, by the way. I don't have one.
Yeah.
But with these drum sets, I'm just making that analogy.
Yeah.
You and that's why I have all these drums. Really, if you want to get down to it, is if I come out here and for some reason I'm not feeling it, or just nothing's coming out how I want it to.
Yeah.
Change the snare drum, change a ride cymbal, change a pair of hi-hats. All of a sudden, there's something that's going to spark me in a direction that I didn't anticipate going that day.
That's such a great point, because when our drums, and I'm sure this is the same for any instrument, when our drums sound good, and that's subjective, when they sound good for what we're trying to express at that time, it's more enjoyable, and when it's more enjoyable, we play better. And I know exactly what you mean. If it's not getting that sound, you got to fix something,
Or just a different sound. You know what I mean? Piccolo snare drums have not really been in vogue in recent years. But the other day I went and pulled one out, and I thought, kind of haven't been in this universe for a while. Just like that high ear piercing gun crack thing. Like, hey. And then you want something with a little bit more gush to it. Pull that out. Okay, now we're here. Yeah. I like having that spur me in directions where I don't have a set plan of I'm going to work for 15 minutes on this idea and 15 minutes on this idea.
Right.
I just to play and see what happens.
That's awesome. As you were talking about the snare drums and what's in, what's out, and all that, I just happened to come across a video clip yesterday of the Plant Page tour. And the late Michael Lee was playing drums with them. And I had forgotten about this because I saw them a couple times and I met Michael. He on his drum kit, which was 1 up and 2 down, he had a marching snare. Yeah, as his snare, like a Ludwig TDR or something. I was like, whoa, I forgot about that. Talk about a crack. That was just hilarious. Crazy.
If that wasn't 14 by 10, I don't know what is,
Right, yeah, absolutely. It might have even been deeper than that. Let me see if we have some more questions. And if not, we're going to different... Hey, thanks, everyone, so much for joining us live. And if you're watching this on the archive, go ahead and chime in. Tell us where you're watching from. Ask questions anyways. If there's anything that needs attention, I'll forward it to Todd. If there's no new questions, I'll move on to my new question, which is, other than, we all know that everyone's sort of stagnant right now and waiting. We can't tour, but what, if you don't mind me asking, what's in the books for Styx? New material, a tour, a residency somewhere? What's going on?
Well, we had dates every month of this calendar year, beginning in March when those were set aside.
Right.
And when you have put shows on sale and tickets have been sold and contracts have been signed, and they need to be put somewhere. So they keep kind of moving dates further into the future.
Yeah.
Whether or not those actually take place on those dates remains to be seen. But my feeling is things are going to keep getting scooted into the future.
Right.
So it will be, when we're finally on the other side of this, it's going to be a very busy time making up that 70 shows that were pushed aside.
Yeah.
Had normal life continued instead of this situation that we find ourselves in, I would have recorded the new Styx record in Nashville last April.
Oh.
So that was slated to happen. It obviously did not happen. So I know that's going to be something that we're going to be very eager to get to and work on when the smoke finally clears. I'm really, really excited about the material on that. It definitely has progressive leanings and a lot of opportunities for drumming. And I know they keep kind of shuffling some of the songs around about certain things making the cut or not doing and changing things around. So I'm just kind of sitting back and letting them, sculpt this and see what happens in actuality. But nonetheless, it's exciting. And they want to do the drums at Blackbird, which is a beautiful recording studio in Nashville, which is where we did the mission.
Right.
Because we all have our own recording studios at home. I mean, most musicians have their own studio now. But there is still something special about going into a grand room with grand gear and working that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. I know that I probably asked you this on our last interview, which was, let me think. I think 2 years ago.
I was in a hotel room, I remember that.
In Barstow, California.
Wow, yeah, good memory.
Remember? Yeah, you were in Barstow. Yeah, that was funny. Nothing against Barstow, folks. There's a cool McDonald's there made out of a train.
I did get food poisoning at a Taco Bell there.
Oh, jeez. I'll serve you right.
Last time I ate at that establishment.
I'll ask this question again as I ask all my guests. So this is the Todd Sucherman fun fact question. When you're not playing drums, not recording, not touring, not working on music, not working on your chops, when you're doing something other than related to music, what do you like to do?
I like long walks on the beach and puppies and kittens and oh no. Well, I have a 6-year-old daughter, so that keeps me very busy in the non-musical hours. So, spending time with my wife and daughter, and the silver lining in this experience that we're all sharing in right now is, I haven't been home for like whatever 75 days in a row, whatever it's been, and I don't know how long. The early 90s, something, mid 90s.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to watch my daughter grow up in one shot, as opposed to me leaving for 19 days and coming home and like, oh look, teeth,
Yeah. Oh, you're running now, riding a bike. Oh, you're driving. Oh, you got a degree.
Yeah. Oh, you're moving out. Oh, where did it go?
Yeah.
I know that's how it's going to feel. So that keeps me busy. I do love like quality television and movies. I love reading, although I haven't had much time to read even now.
What do you like to watch, Todd?
I like cooking too. I think if I wasn't in drums, I'd be doing something in the culinary arts.
That's awesome. My introduction to video production was that. I don't know how many people know this about me on Drum Talk TV, but I had a cooking show on TV from like 2001 to 2004 that was based in Ventura, California, where I was living, and it spread to like 63 community access television stations. I love cooking. I'm not trained. I just love cooking. I should weigh 300 pounds. I don't know what's going on.
I'm working on that right now.
What do you like to watch?
Boy, well, we just finished Ozark, probably like most people.
We're like maybe 4 or 6 episodes in.
Like let's get comedy things that would be like Veep, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
The best comedy ever.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Ricky Gervais's Afterlife just blew us away on Netflix. Love Breaking Bad when that was a thing. I love Better Call Saul now.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff, but
that's all the same stuff we like. Yeah.
Yeah, we just watched on Netflix The Death of Stalin.
Oh, how was that?
On an overseas flight, but I don't remember much of it. I have a routine that I get into to cure jet lag, and it involves a lot of beverages. We saw that, and that has Armando Iannucci all over it from Veep. Just the lines from that it was killing us last night or a couple nights ago.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's sort of how we wind down with a couple of cocktails after we put Tegan to bed, and we find some provocative and intelligent programming.
That's great. Just a lot of good shout outs, a lot of good compliments, a lot of thank yous. Thank you everybody so much. And Todd, thanks again for taking time to join me. I appreciate it very much. Looking forward to doing this again. Please send me that info, and I'll
absolutely will, man.
Put it into the post. And thank you everybody for following Drum Talk TV and for watching Todd and myself. If you know a Styx fan, a Todd Sucherman fan, please share the post so they can be further enriched, enlightened. Okay? Thanks everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching.
Ooh, I almost pressed the wrong button. Thanks everyone.